I've been the most consistent, and I've had the most consistent improvement. Coach Ray did a video, and I don't know if you guys saw it, referencing the Alajan Muratov, talking about the 50,000. What I've noticed with Arsen, and especially going off of some of his most recent stuff, he's lightning fast. Or the horse may be prepared for battle, but the victory rests with the Lord. That's how I approach all of my matches. And if I'm at peace with that before I go in the preparation, it's either pronation, supination. But what I have recently changed the most is I've really delved into the conjugate method, Todd Hutchings style. So, I mean, it's really brought on by kind of really what he said. I'm not a student of the West Side barbell method. A wise man once told me, what are the three most important things in life? And I said, I don't know. And he said, number one, relationships. Number two, relationships. And number three, relationships. That's what life's about. That's your legacy, is your relationships.
What's going on, my man?
Well, we were just
warming
up,
much,
baby.
buddy. Not much.
Sure, you've been doing what? Oh, great, dude. Great.
Good.
Great.
Good.
Ready for the event, man. Ready for the next event.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
Let's
man.
go.
It'll be a good one.
There's not much introduction to you, right?
What's that?
There's not much introduction needed to you, right? It's not the first time we're doing this, Paul.
No. I'm used to it. Seasoned vet.
Absolutely, buddy. It's so nice to see you coming up in the house again. Trapzilla, I miss you.
My pleasure. My pleasure, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Massive. That's a massive boy there.
Well, first, dude, how you doing?
Good, man. Good. Busy. You know, summertime, just running from one sport to the next. But I can't complain. Idle hands do the devil's work. So I keep them busy.
Not sure if you ever met. Well, I think that you already met my friend here, Skyler Brooks. I've been doing a couple of podcasts with him.
Yeah, we met in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Orlando. I think it was the first time I seen you. So yeah, that was when we met down in Orlando.
Yeah, we spent a good amount of time after the event,
We did.
or during the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of fun. Kids at the pool and enjoying themselves. That's what it was all about. I remember the kids wanted the pool. That was the main thing that day.
Yeah.
Awesome. This feels like an old meeting of old friends. I mean, one of the sweetest memories I have from you is it's two memories. When we were in the restaurant there in Turkey during it was 12, I think it was. I was telling that anecdote, Paul, about Devon Larratt and the nap I had. Remember that? We were, and when you were opening the bottle of beer with your hand, which is something I'm trying to do by myself and I haven't been able, so I will need to ask you for the specific instructions. Dude, this guy, Skyler, this guy is able to grab, the bottle of beers and just open it with this. Clack. Impressive.
Are you serious? That is impressive.
Yeah. Well, it's not impressive. It's when you have a tungsten wedding ring and you wedge it under there.
That's the ring.
I mean, literally, why else would you get married and have to wear this ring if you can't do something productive with it?
I gotcha.
So,
I thought
it was the whole rationale for weddings and marriages.
I thought it was just with a hand, but I didn't realize it was with a ring.
Yeah, now we know the secret.
Yeah.
That's good.
But anyway, you know what? But let me just do something very seriously before. Seriously, you know what I mean. Seriously, just in case someone is joining up now in the podcast and doesn't know who you are. Very quick introduction. Well, obviously, Paul Linn, very recognized international champion of arm wrestling. It's not the first time coming in the house, guys. I'm going to leave actually some links here somewhere about the previous podcast I had with him. I mean, you also been called Trapzilla, and a very curious gentleman that you are. I mean, you are one of my favorite arm wrestlers, and actually, for example, mentioning one of the previous interviews that you had in the in the King of the Table 14. I'm mixing the names now. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you're a guy that not only has been coaching in football for more than 20 years recently, actually, but you are invested in several business, like for example, crypto, which is very interesting, and also some property and stuff like that. So you have a very curious background alongside with the sports for the training. So, I mean, really, you guys didn't watch the match he had against Samutsia, King of the Table 14. Well, you should. Otherwise, check the link in the description. So, yeah, welcome to the house, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Always my pleasure. If you guys have tuned in for whatever reason to hear me talk nonsense and you're not subscribed, give this guy a subscription. Let's grow the channel. He's putting a lot of work in. He deserves it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you hear me today, it's just because I'm already a little bit like this, and it's quite late here. So anyway, guys, really, we're gonna have fun today. Take it easy, and we're gonna start, man. Because in a couple of 3 weeks, actually, you're gonna have a super match against. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. Yeah, I don't want to mispronounce his surname of this gentleman, but this is a very, very curious opponent, and very, very good matching for you. Actually, sorry, Skyler, because this is actually one of your favorite topics, so I'm gonna leave it for you about his opponent, buddy. So go ahead, Skyler. You're on command.
Yes. Man, it's so crazy to me because I feel like you all are so similar in so many different ways, because I feel like that there's a good chance that both of y'all are gonna kind of want the strap. I mean, that's what he wanted to do against Andre, and man, he's got a great cup. He's got a great hook, and when he gets that hook dragging and going sideways, he's very offensive and very explosive. And I just think that you all have the exact same kind of repertoire of skills, and are going to be looking to do a lot of the same things. So it's gonna kind of be like iron meeting iron. What do you see as far as how it goes and how you all match up for each other?
Well, there's not like a ton of footage out there. There is some out there, but you really got to dig. You can do your homework. What I've noticed with Arsen, and especially going off of some of his most recent stuff, he's lightning fast, and he's versatile. Usually when we're dealing with the top tier guys, it's usually a pet move where, you know, guys either going inside all the time and rarely ever top rolls, or vice versa. He seems very comfortable initiating either. And he has a really fast side pressure move. So, you know, breaking down the Andre match, seeing him, you know, get to the strap, where I think they volunteered for the strap, and he lost his hand, went into almost a full King's move, and still was able to come back with some side pressure hits outside of the straps. The adjustments and the speed was very impressive. So that paired up with, I think a lot of people don't know Arsen. He's a younger dude. I think he's only in his early 20s, but he's already internationally known and respected, mainly because of the AMC tournament. What his output there. So he's raked in some prize money. He's taken second in the overall in AMC. He's beaten Zaur Pazulayev. Like the kid's a prodigy for sure. And it's one of those matches where I think there's going to be a feeling out process from both guys, and we're probably going to have to see adjustments one way or another. I don't think this is going to be a match that goes either way, one like over and over the same way. So it's going to be interesting. It's very interesting in that I think it's going to there's only so much that can be known until we go ahead and grip up for that first round.
Right.
I mean, absolutely, man. He has proof by far that he's able to do everything. I mean, we saw him in a couple of matches against Shark in the last event, and even in previous events as well. He pulled against Shark, but we saw him doing the reverse, going inside, going outside. Yeah, very, very interesting opponent for you, and I totally believe that going straps inside with you. Oof, I see you clearly the slightly favorite, but not for much. I mean, I see a war there. I see an absolute.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people just don't know, like in the West, don't know Arsen. And I mean, obviously the win over Andre is extremely credible, but the resume at AMC, anybody who can win that tournament, you know, that's wild. So I'm not sure how big he is, what he's walking around at right now, but it's a 209 match. I have to be able to make that my advantage coming in. So I'm banking on that. Done the research. With a short camp, neither of us have a whole lot of time for finite training. So made some tweaks to my program, but I mean, we're really only talking about 3 hard work weeks in the gym. How much can you make? How much gains can you make when you're trying to train something different? So it's going to be one of those things. I mean, I feel like I'm in pretty good form coming off of my last camp, no real injuries. So why not roll right into another one?
Yeah. That's something I was wanting to talk about is dude, your performance against Samutsia was nonetheless impeccable. Impeccable. That that guy, you are that guy's kryptonite, because that guy is the greatest of some of the greatest champions we've seen. I mean, we know that he's won 10 85 kilo titles. I mean, come on, like, you cannot ever discount this guy for nothing. And Paul's the only guy that's beat him twice.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I am a little
nicely
bit
done,
bigger.
son.
I am a little bit bigger. Like, we got to give,
You are.
like,
You are.
the V is unbelievable. I mean, some people, I think, would take a look at the second match and say it was more one-sided than the first one. I think that's actually the opposite. I think I made some mistakes, and did some silly stuff in the first one.
Yeah.
I got pinned outside the straps. I did some goofy stuff there. And, I had to, in the setup and, the amount of starts we had to do in this go at it, I definitely spent more energy, and it took more effort. And David's just an amazing champion. I can't wait to see him keep winning at 85. He's unbelievable. You can't make any mistakes against him, because if you do, you wind up, you get stuck in a bad spot, and the tide's turned.
You're out of gas. You're out of gas. Yeah, that's. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh yeah, sorry, Skyler. Thank you, brother. Thank you. No, man. I mean, we need to talk about training, okay? We need to talk about training.
Sure.
Yes, I have a whole load of questions, because one of the things I've done with you in the past, and I feel most proud of in general, is that clip. That interview I had with you, and I asked you about training, and you told us how do you distribute your workouts and everything. And I did ask you recently several times, I think maybe twice in the last, I don't know, let's say 6 months or so, about how your training has been possibly varying since we had the last interview till now. Because, for example, and this is a text quote in regards of training, because, well, obviously, guys, if you're not subscribed to Paul Linn's YouTube channel, which you should, go and do it after you watch this podcast, because we can see obviously more training videos of you, and even though you are reviewing some stuff, some handles with some equipment, very curious. And this is one of the quotes I would like to more or less to repeat, like you say. Excuse my English today, it's a little bit tired already. But you say for training that for every set of general strengths that you do for movements, you do an arm wrestling specific exercise in between, like supersets, and the red sets that you do from your general strength training are actually arm wrestling specific. So is it still like that, or have you changed your training?
Yes. I mean, I've changed my training, but not in that aspect. So my rest time between general strength stuff is something arm wrestling specific. So there's really no rest. In order for me to get the volume that I've become accustomed to, like, I feel like I'm fighting father time, right? So you come into the sport 35, you find yourself at 44, and I'm trying to make up ground. Even at this point, I feel like I am. So there's something nagging in my conscience that says you have to do more than everybody. So in order for me to do that, with the amount of time in the gym, 2.5 hours, like I've got to stay moving. And to me, that's become the most efficient way. And I still, like, my overall aspect of the way I split things is to complement what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing chest, I'm doing wrist flexion cupping, because it's a push, and then that doesn't affect the pull, and vice versa. And if I'm doing back, where I have to already hold on to something, now I'm rotating, so it's either pronation, supination. But what I have recently changed the most is I've really delved into the conjugate method, Todd Hutchings style. So, I mean, it's really brought on by kind of really what he said. I'm not a student of the wet side barbell method. Storm and some of the other guys I train with are really digging into the books. I have really just taken my conversations with Todd and watched videos and applied what I think is most needed for me. And I've already gone through basically, I guess this will be into my 4th training cycle for that, where I've tweaked exercises and changed things. I like it because I'm healthy, which is the weird part. Like that volume of peg to peg side pressure and the intensity level is ridiculous. But I think it does. There's definitely proof now from my experience that has a lot to do with Todd Hutchings' longevity and lack of elbow problems.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree 100%. The elbow is the most important thing. There's no doubt about that. All that makes tons of sense.
Well, you want that iron elbow, to be able to go sideways and generate side pressure.
Yeah.
But I think in order to have that true continuity in there, you have to also be injury free or low pain level. Yeah. Because the first thing that's going to stop power is extreme pain. And that doesn't, a lot of times that doesn't, I've been, at a pretty high pain level and still been able to pull. But once you really peak it up there, subconsciously your body compensates. You might have the connective ability to do certain things, but the mind will passively take a little edge off of your power output. So I think health, and after I'm getting older, I'm becoming more and more sensitive to overall health and how that injuries are that's the last thing I want. I would rather come into a match healthy than be hitting PRs on everything. I'd love to be able to do both, but sometimes you can't do that. And if you pay attention to Todd's stuff, he puts his numbers out there and he says I'm still getting stronger. I can arm wrestle to another 10 years. But am I coming into every match at peak strength based on my numbers? No. So that's just the nature of the beast. Everybody says they're in their best form, but how many people really are? And can you even quantify it?
It's kind of impossible to do if you think about it. You just can't. Especially like you, as much as you pull, especially guys like you. That you can't be in full peak form at all times. It's just not possible. You just hope that you can't.
How do you measure it? We all have our barometers. So I still Todd, has advised to get away from some of the general strength stuff. And, my OCD really won't let me, because that lets me know where I'm at compared to my baseline. Just a few different core lifts. Do they apply to arm wrestling? I think everything applies to arm wrestling, not some less than others, but at least I know where I'm at overall strength wise. It's a number I can quantify. Now I have that in the conjugate method with the max effort days. I have those numbers to track, but nothing replaces how you feel on the table. There is never an exact to say I am 100% at my best ever. I don't know how anyone could do that unless they're just continually getting better in every, but at my point in my career, the best way for me to gauge it is common training partners and how I feel on the table. But even that is not an exact science, because you got other guys that are tweaked or they trained that day. And all those things play a huge factor. So there's no way you can come into any of these matches and say I'm in my best form, or you can tell when you're not, but you can't ever tell when you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a famous quote, right? Nobody's healthy at this level. We all have some things and everything going on. But I tell you, this is one of the things that I always like to observe from guys like you, the way you training, everything, especially, and trying to observe time by time if your mentality and approach towards training has been changing. And I'm super, super cool. Let's say glad, right? Curious, better say, that your ways of training hasn't really changed much, because well, it depends really, right? How long you've been in this. Anyone has been in the sport. At the beginning, anyone that he starts more or less grabs things, bits and bobs from different people. They do their way of training, and most likely, as long as they progress in their career, they start to get a standardized methodology of training that they may carry on for the rest of their lives. And there are levels of training, right? And this is my point, because you've been already for a good while walking among absolutely giants and masters of this sport, like Todd Hutchings, for example. So it was good to know by your mouth right now that you have been just literally absorbing from him. As for example, I don't know about you, Skyler, but you are already as well absorbing from relevant people in the sport.
All kinds of different people. It's very important. I think that, sorry to cut you off, Daniel, but I think that it's very important to take, because look, you got one Devin Larratt, you got one Michael Todd, you got one Todd Hutchings, you got guys that are freaks, and you can't train the same as them. But what you can do is you can take your methodology of how you pull, and you can tweak different things here and there, and you can put that together, and now you've got a training system that works for you that is sort of like theirs, but not quite the same thing. So I like taking bits and pieces from everybody and picking everybody's brain, and then applying it to what I do best. And that's the way I think it should be done. But everybody has their own opinion.
There is. No, that's the best advice there is.
Yeah.
If you take another person that you want to be like, right, and you do exactly what they do down to a T, will you improve? If they're great at what they're doing, absolutely you'll improve. But where do you want to go? Like, if you really want to go to that top, number one, you have to understand your own limitations. You got to understand your own genetic makeup, and that takes time to figure out. But understand that no two people are made alike. So there is no one fix. There is no magic pill. There is nothing like that. So, like, I mean, Todd makes a really good point when you look at the conjugate method. And he said, I mean, we had a conversation. He said, who are the top North American pullers that you can think of, right? You know, what are the names come to like mind? And I said, Devin Larratt. And he said, who else? He said, and I said, Michael Todd, current. And he said, well, how has their training looked over the course of the time that you've been following? I said, well, it's changed quite a bit. And I said, yeah, you know, and in my mind, immediately I'm like, okay, yeah, so, because that's what it should do. And Todd goes, has mine changed? And I'm like, now, probably not much, right? Other than what you're doing. He said, yeah, it's been conjugate method from the beginning. I just tweaked my exercises. I've been the most consistent, and I've had the most consistent improvement. So you can't really argue that, but that in itself doesn't mean that, even though I'm delving into it, that I am doing exactly what Todd does. Number one, there's no chance I can do that with the way he splits his training up, and nor do I think genetically that would benefit me. It's me taking a percentage of what he's doing and applying it to what has already got me to where I was prior to that. And side pressure training has been an interesting thing for me. A lot of newer pullers reach out to me and ask me, you know, how much should I be focusing on side pressure? Should that be my main thing? Blah, 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 blah. And I tell people that I have never once effectively like structured out like a training plan for side pressure ever until this point. And I didn't feel like, with the amount of table time I was getting and the other areas that I needed to get better in order to even care about side pressure, that there was any real value. Plus, I've always kind of treated it like an ace up my sleeve. I've always had decent side pressure from the beginning. So in my mind, it's like, well, I'm going to keep that last little piece of training that, you know, if I ever feel like I need that next little edge, then I'll pull it out. And I think we're at that point now. So, but the truth of it is if you can't pull like Todd, which I can't, I have not figured out how to like beat a top roll with the side pressure. Like, and I think a lot of that's technical. So
well, it's a ton of drag too. It's like crazy weird drag.
It's back pressure and pronation. And people are like, side pressure. Well, of course his shoulder quarter side pressure is amazing, but he can't tie that down if he's losing center this way and he's getting his pronator taken. So I'm not there, that whole complete package. So right now I need to have all of this too. You know, it can't be one dimensional for me.
How long you've been following his program or training with Todd?
Since the Krasny match. Right after.
Since when, sorry?
Since the Krasimir match.
Right,
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And how much, tricky and easy question, how much have you improved since then? Would you give numbers? 44%,
like
stronger?
Numerically, on average, I would say, like from my original, I'm doing a ton of different movements. I would say on average, side pressure about 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of that, like if I'm really being honest, like you got to be able to do it the same way every time and getting used to the handles. Like the first time I maxed on these things, there's some dexterity things that were holding me back. Yeah. So is that 10% of true side pressure? No, maybe it's a percentage in my hand, how, you know, the different exercises, but on average, it's about 10% on output. And I think I've figured out where I need to be in that side pressure movement to replicate my move.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That makes a lot of sense. I think that's why I like the dexterity, like you were talking about. I think that's why so many people don't like. I know a lot of people that don't like multi-spinner training. They don't like dealing with it because it's a weird feeling on the hand. You know, it makes you start getting all shaky, and you know, I guess that's the point of the exercise. But yeah,
100%. That's stabilizers. Like,
yeah,
and I mean, like you look at even like some of the stuff Todd does with bands, like you know, like the bobbly weights. Like when your entire joint, whatever that may be, is conditioned to be able to stabilize things, your static pressures will increase. So I mean,
yes,
it
of course.
makes sense. Like we train in planes, we're in the gym, right? And we train in planes.
Yep.
Like why would we hang bodily weights on a bench press? Because we're training in a plane and we're just getting that muscle group stronger, doing the exact same thing. You add those bodily weights, now you're training a whole joint.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there needs to be a little bit of that, I think, for sure. And
Yeah,
and we kind of have to gravitate toward those things that do make us uncomfortable.
I agree. That applies to arm wrestling very well. When you're getting those joints all jiggly, that applies to everything. It's just like being on the table and being in a dead center war shaking match with you know, whoever you're pulling. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we've all been there. So
Statics or isometrics with elastic band
Yep.
takes everything, even for the
yeah,
hydropronation.
yeah.
Is great. It's great.
Yeah.
I tell you.
it is.
Good. Shall we get into the sauce already?
Let's get into the sauce.
All right. I mean, not much. Did you already had your excuse me, Paul? Did you already have your podcast with Engin?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Yeah, it's been tough, you know, with working and then going straight to, you know, with the high school kids and the little kids. I can't marry at the time.
I totally got it, dude. And you know what?
It's got to be on the weekends.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're busy, and that's why I really appreciated you coming here, man. To me,
Oh,
it's
no
a huge
problem.
present.
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
easy.
Paul.
This is
That's
easy.
awesome.
Not a problem. My pleasure. This is easy. This is my easy time. It's not
yeah.
my time.
And I tell you this, especially related to the very surprise hobby that you have. I need to send you that present, buddy. I tell you, I'm wearing them right now for you. I need to send you a pair. So you need to tell me your size. Your
11 US size. I
11
mean,
US.
I think those shoes will work on my ankle stabilizers for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
They will, man. 100% guarantee.
I don't know. That is something. I'll tell you. I don't understand the concept. I got to try it out. Do you need me to do a review on them? I could do like a review video on those shoes.
Oh, no. I mean, I tell you, you can use them for squatting. You can do powerlifting.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'll do, and I'll tell you how they work.
100%, man. I mean, that's my life goal. I want to see Paul Linn, and it will be with Devil narrative also would be hilarious to see both of you Madreñas. If I could take you to Asturias, it will be amazing. Well, I tell you something. Have you planned, or are you planning? I don't know. At some point, coming to the US. To the UK.
I would love to. It's always about schedule, you
Yep.
know, and that's the tricky part. I'm usually what I need to do is block it up. Like if I could get a long enough lead time for a match, and like maybe 10, 12 week lead time, I would love to make a trip over there for training. I would love to do that.
I tell you, you come here, we go with Rustam. 100%. 100%. I will absolutely murder to say that. Man, oh my god, it will be hilarious. It will. Vaya por Dios, mi inglés ha ido al carajo. It will be great. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, his training program is very good. You can tell he's very dialed in when it comes to training.
Yeah, I want to experience like some of the exact things he's doing. I've talked to him quite a bit about like, you know, because the guy does not have a big hand. It's not big hand.
Right.
And he's able, his fingers themselves are not even big. Like you would think, like sometimes you see guys that have a big hand, like Marcio has a smaller hand, but his fingers are big and strong. And Rustam clearly he's achieved that same thing, even with a smaller anatomy. So like I've asked him questions. I feel like I need to experience what exactly he's doing.
I tell you this, okay? I mean, when I went to train with them the first time, I just went easy. It's like, you're going to train with these guys finally after, because, well, you know, life is busy and I couldn't make it before, and I was invited before anyway. Getting there, you go nice and easy. Okay, I'm just going to learn new things, but you don't know why. And then it was feeling like it was like if I was at some point like if I was a completely imbecile, really, because they were breaking down every single exercise to me, showing me things that I didn't know or I thought I didn't know, correcting me the forms. For example, in one of the videos of the training, when we were warming up, for example, I was just trying to do kind of normal dips for the triceps, but the correcting, and it was like not more for the chest. And even when we were working with the pulley system, the angles, everything, I tell you, and it's a very good way to say it's like, and not both leaking Rustam here, but it's a fact, like a guy that is so strong and everything, you don't expect, let's say, like an stereotype, to be such knowledgeful of the sport and be able to share the knowledge, especially with Adam. Adam, it was great as well, man. I tell you, great experience. I wish you can make it here and have some kind of trip or training there. It will be absolutely awesome. And I tell you, Rustam will love it.
Yeah, I would love
All
it
your
too. I love
content
it.
was great, Daniel. I don't know, Paul saw it, but all your content
watched it, yeah.
was off the wall
I
great,
watched it, yeah.
and that's why Paul, like Paul said, subscribe to this guy, Daniel. I'm telling you, he's doing some good things for the sport. He really is.
That's all right.
He really is.
That's all right, guys. But I have just literally lost the plot. I don't know what I was going to mention. But anyway, oh yeah, I think we can just leave some of the big questions and stuff. I mean, about the next coming event for the Engine podcast. You know, man, just let's be respectful with the guys. We don't
ask whatever you want. You can ask whatever you want.
Good. Okay. Straight to the source, man. Ermes and Levan drama situation. What do you think? What are the chances for Ermes this time?
I don't know.
I'm just going to say, does Ermes have a chance? That's all I'm going to say. Does he have a chance?
Ermes definitely has a chance. I feel like Levan, like when you talk about the drama, right? Like Ermes is 100%, like without a doubt, bringing a better form. That's quantifiable. Unless he's got something that he's not telling anybody, he is definitely he took the loss. He had a little bit of success in that, and to me, that's the perfect scenario. Like you have positives.
You got a different Levan as well.
Yeah, he's got positives and negative data to break down on himself. A million different camera angles. He knows what he felt. If he put the camp in that I believe he did, and I know he's focused on certain things. He's focused heavily on his riser, not losing his riser, which my opinion, even talking to him, like he had already done that, but like my was like, you got to keep your riser. And he's focused on like just the way he's approached this match and the things that he's doing with the pronation and everything. Rise and pronation are going to be the deciding factors, and then side pressure. And where does it stop? Where can it stop? The real X factor is what form was Levan in when he beat Ermes, and that's kind of the unknown. We know he had to get oxygen and everything else after that. And to me, the other really intangible X factor here is that Ermes has definitely gotten underneath Levan's skin. So for some people, that can be a good or bad thing. So I like to see how this plays out. I don't think Levan is the type of guy who is being intimidated or whatever, like where I don't think he's gotten to Levan, but I don't know if that can negatively affect him. He's kind of one of those guys where you'd probably just not want to poke that bear.
No. Well, we already seen it with Devin.
That's the point.
I want the strongest arm wrestler on the planet to be pissed off when he's arm wrestling.
No.
It's like it's not getting in his mind. It's getting in his, in his.
Yeah.
100%. And I tell you this about Ermes, all the experience. Of course, he learned about when he was beat by Levan the first time, and also it was a huge present as well. Losing the way he did against Devon, because oh my God, he took a lot of lessons from there, and he has been working on all those weaknesses, and the improvement of Ermes is just there, man.
Yeah,
I am very happy if he's able to put the brakes somehow on Levan on the first round. Oh my God, what a massacre it could be. I mean, I will still place Levan as favorite. I will not.
100%.
I am placing Levan as favorite, but. oh my God, if he's able to put the brakes there.
Levan is definitely the favorite, but I would I will say, of anybody coming in to pull Levan, this is the best chances that I would give any of those opponents. Even the both times we saw Devin pull him, and even when we saw the stop in the first round of the last meeting, like I do think Ermes right now is going to be Levan's toughest opponent, period. And I think that he has a very, very good chance, depending on how things play out, to win the match. But I don't think it's going to be one of those things. I'd be very surprised if, if Ermes, let's say Ermes somehow gets that stop in the first round.
Yeah,
I don't think that means it's over at all.
No,
I think we'll see Levan do some stuff. And I think as fans, a lot of us want to see that drama. Levan's a very likable champion, in my opinion. But whenever you see a guy win, human nature says, I want to see someone beat him. Not because I don't like him, but because we just want to see that, if that's possible.
Absolutely.
So, if he was a Floyd Mayweather type, he would have everybody tuning in to see him lose. But I don't think that's like that. I think a lot of us don't. I'm not rooting for Levan to lose by any means, but I think everyone does want to see him test it to the limit. And I think that's where the drama could play out. I envision, best case scenario, we see the first 2 rounds go back and forth, and then whoever wins, and we see, to me, that is just great for arm wrestling, regardless of how it goes.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no way I can see this match in the future not being absolutely historical. I tell you this. And Ermes, if you're watching this, io tifo per la squadra italiana. I am supporting the Italian team 100%, man. I am on Ermes' side 100%, man. I am supporting him 100%. I want him to win, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah,
before we go any further than this, I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate for a minute. Just for a minute, because we have to talk about this. So there was the practice pulls between Devin and Ermes that Ingen, it was Ingen and Robert there, and Ingen's son. I believe they were in Istanbul. It's not been that long ago, but maybe 6 months ago, maybe not even that long ago. It hasn't been a long time ago, but Devin was light then. He wasn't crazy heavy at that time, and basically, we all don't know who pulled who or what happened that night, but basically Devin started doing the same things that he was doing to him the first time. And I just, in my mind, I feel like there's no way that Devin that pulled Ermes that day is the Devin of today. So the way I'm looking at it is Ermes would have to improve significantly to have a chance, because just like Paul mentioned, he's definitely right about it. If the stop happens, it may not be over, because Ermes stopped Levan in the first round last time in the strap. Remember, he stopped him right here, and then Levan just stood up and looked at him, and then boom, and then pinned him. So, there's so many different things that can happen here. But what worries me for Ermes is if you're having trouble with a light Devin, and I know it's practice pulls. I'm not that type of guy that says practice pulls matter, but I'm just saying that's a light Devin, and this is not a light look. It's not a light. It's a mean looking Levan is what it is. He's lighter than what he was when he pulled him the first time, but he just looks mean and ready this time. So I think it's going to be a decisive victory. Decisive. Just an opinion. Just an opinion.
It's fine, man. We're still friends.
I want the drama. I want the drama.
Me too, man.
I do too. I would love to see it.
It's such a, when you're friends with these arm wrestlers, and you're pretty close with them and stuff. It's tough. It's even my buddies, I want them to win, but I want them to have a death war. And I almost think to myself, why am I wishing that on my friend? You know what I mean? Because we all come in a match and we want to win. We want to win 3-0, and we want to be healthy when we get out of there. And here I am wishing for close matches for the entire card on all these guys I like, But I want to see the drama for sure.
Oh,
and I think we will. I think we will.
Will they be selling popcorns on the venue?
I hope so. I'm sure they will.
Guess we'll find out.
Actually, you know what? Let's talk about a little bit about the new faces that we some of the new faces. I'm going to give two, right, to make it quicker. Manuel Battaglia and Ivan Portela. One Italian and one finally Spanish. Oh, Spanish at the East West. The freaking
Yeah.
Ivan Portela and Manuel Battaglia. What are your insights about these gentlemen? Have you been checking on these guys? What is your
No, I
opinion
mean,
about them?
I watched Yvonne's podcast with Joseph, so not super familiar. But I'm interested. Like I heard the backstory and everything, and the amount of experience he has. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out.
Watch,
I think.
watch the one I did with him yesterday. I'm going to
Okay.
release stuff. I am breaking my mind because this is the point. But very quick reflection. I wish I could find some sort of. I am thinking about this, because when you're having a podcast with someone that doesn't speak English, for the people from the UK, Canada, US, and everything, it's like, oh my gosh. So I'm thinking actually using some kind of AI to dub them into English, maybe clone their voice or something to make them more, accessible. But there's some information up there that's going to be very, very reliable. And sorry for maybe stepping into you. For interrupting you, Paul. Not sure if I did.
No, you're good.
Oh, good. So about history, it's something I mentioned many times because I've been talking about this guy for years. For years, and I'm super glad to see him now at this level. Hopefully, from now on, it's gonna be like an awakening and continue him seeing pulling. We will see what happens, but he is one of the very few arm wrestlers in history. One of the very few arm wrestlers in history that holds a certificate with the Olympic stamp on it.
Okay.
Not many people in this world have one. Rustam Babayev is one, and Ivan Portela, guys that I personally know. I have a full list of the people that was there pulling arm wrestling.
Was that the year that it was a trial sport, or
it was the Worldwide Junior Games celebrated in Moscow in 1998.
Okay.
I got tons of information, and I'm asking for more information because there was even an interview in the Russian television back on the day to the guys, because there were many sports that obviously in those Worldwide Junior Games celebrated, but arm wrestling showcased as a demonstrating sport, but it was a world championship indeed, dude. And it's just an anecdote.
He was clearly no joke at that time.
Yeah.
No, they were kids, We're talking about 58 kilogram class, but the point is like history, man. It's something so cool, and nobody speaks about these things, Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you talk about the match too, it's like that prior generation of arm wrestlers getting introduced like to the new arm wrestlers. Joseph Morano is like the epitome of that, and that's why I think the match is really cool because I know he's definitely digging in. And to me, as like a newer arm wrestler, being able to pull these guys from that previous era is a huge honor, And sometimes it allows for like a guy like Yvonne to get their name back on the tip of their tongue. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool. It's cool in both aspects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very and he's a deep inside puller, so we know where that match is going to go.
Oh,
that could be again. Joseph has kind of stole the show like twice. He's
down 2-0.
Yeah, man. Like and just grinders and just poise like that guy. And he's only a baby too. He's like 22 or something.
He's 23. He's 23 years.
Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
That's gonna be a fun wrestler.
Me too. Listen, I am trying to sort out some kind of miracle, right? So I can able to get to Chicago. I already applied for the visa and everything, but
Paul, what day are you going up?
They're bringing everybody in Thursday morning. So normally, like I think, unless somebody has to be there early to cut, I'm not sure. Maybe some of the Europeans are coming earlier because of the jet lag. But I mean, off the comms that we got so far, it sounds like everybody's coming in Thursday morning. So
yeah, Ivan, I think is going to be there on Wednesday or so, Wednesday afternoon or so. But it's going to
be busy. It's going to be really busy.
The West is already sold out.
What's
we'll
that?
Be there. the Westin, it's already sold out
Yeah.
because we're staying there from the 15th to the 22nd, and then we're going up on the 13th and staying in another hotel a couple more nights. But yeah, Westin's, it's booked completely.
I thought Robert posted something that said that there was a glitch or something. He put a post out today saying something about that. I didn't read it hard or anything, so
could be. I don't know.
Yeah, there was like another venue with a shuttle bus and everything arranged. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's at the Marriott.
But anyway, but anyway, like it's two worlds clashing now. Like the experience of this guy and the youth and preparation of Joseph is gonna be awesome, man. And about Bataglia, very quickly, not sure if you know much about the gentleman. I've been more or less following his career, more or less. I mean, not very deep in detail since I heard about him for first time by Fran Lamparelli. And he has been doing very well, obviously, in these last recent years. He had a super match recently against that gentleman, and he won 2-0, I think he was. I don't remember right now. But Bataglia is one of those names that if he performs good right now, I totally believe we're going to see him again. So I'm very curious on that one as well. I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, if a guy wins, like for the most part, Engen has been, obviously the stable of pullers is increasing, which makes it tricky. But for the most part, everybody, if you win, you're probably getting another match. I don't think a guy has won a match and not got another one, or is not being considered for another one. So that's the cool part about it. The thing is like, man, it definitely puts pressure on everybody to keep winning. But yeah, I think it's awesome. The matches are becoming like the potential matches, like especially now stylistic matchups that you can make for Engen. I think the options are like great now. So yeah, I'd love to see 100%. How it pans out and see who matches up with who,
And now you got Devin with the left again too, so that makes his things up big time again. So things are getting fun in every weight category, everyone.
Yep.
Nothing but good stuff coming, guys. I'm telling you,
sir.
It's good stuff.
Yes, sir. We got to keep it rolling. We got to keep it rolling in the United States. Like, guys, if you're listening, come support. Like, Coach Ray did a video, and I don't know if you guys saw it, referencing the Alijan Muratov, talking about the $50,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people need to understand where we're at right now with arm wrestling. Ray's video is great. Refer to it. He'll break it down for you. But what everybody has to understand and totally get out of their mind is that anybody is making money off of arm wrestling. The only people who are currently making money right now are the pullers consistently, because you're going and you know what you're going to get paid and you're going to get it no matter what. You get a little bit more if you win. That's the only people. And like if you support the sport and you want to see it grow, then make sure that you are paying for these things. Like not because arm wrestling needs your money, but because if you love arm wrestling, like the watch parties and stuff, I buy every single one of these pay-per-views. Every single one. The ones that I'm on, we buy them. My wife buys it. I buy it. She has it on. We buy it multiple times. That's the least I can do, because it's incredible the risk that people have taken and the debt that people have gone into for this sport and for this endeavor. And we are so blessed to have Engen Terzi and Robert Baxter, human beings. There's no way that you are going to make this work without it being a passion project. No one is coming into arm wrestling to make money and succeed it. Now, there has been promotions that have come and gone who have come in with the sole intent to make money, and they have not lasted. So there has never been this volume of iterations of East versus West and King of the Table in any other league that I know of.
Yeah.
And they're doing it like it's by the skin of their teeth that they're staying afloat. Like they're not every one of these things is profitable. The overhead is astronomical. And when you compare the position of arm wrestling, like we just need to support. Like if you love the sport, come enjoy it. Come meet us in Chicago. Come hang out with us. You'll have access to everybody. I promise everybody will talk to you. You'll love it. So come be there and support us. We don't need, like, the arm wrestlers in the sport we don't need sponsorships and handouts. We just need you to come and be a part of it and help these guys they put in all their blood, sweat, and tears into it.
I mean, I mean, absolutely. There's two levels, right? Watching from the PPV and being there. I mean, in my own experience, I had a workout with you, with Alden and all the guys there, and with Coach Ray. It was amazing. All of that. It's been there, completely different experience. But I mean, setting the things very straight about this, the support and the PPV, and related to Coach Ray's video. I was having it wasn't an argument, but I was talking to one of my friends precisely from Spain about this, right? I was supporting the sports, the PPVs and so on. It's like, okay, so you are an arm wrestler, of course, clearly. You have even more experience than me. Fine, good. You support, in this case, Ivan Portela. Good, right. If 20 of you guys gather in one house, right, and only one pays the PPV, you're not really supporting, mate. You know, I mean, everything costs money. I understand that. I don't want to make it very long, man. It's just like you explained it very well. We have to.
It's not even that, because listen, we all, like, if you got a bunch of buddies that are arm wrestlers, right? If you want to watch the match together, you enjoy it, drink some beers, hang out. It's great. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah,
but
we
like,
all do it.
We got to also think that can be detrimental. And then, you know, I'm telling you, they're battling with pirated streams and all kinds of stuff. The numbers on that is astronomical. So, like, if you are an arm wrestling fan, I would say go to a watch party, but don't watch a pirated stream. Don't do that.
Absolutely.
Wait for the YouTube videos. If you're really a fan, don't do it. But it's the model to make money is, you know, based off of pay-per-view sales, is extremely hard.
Yeah.
So the other piece is, man, like, I know Robert Nangan, like, if anybody out there can find some good title sponsors, like, that would be amazing. We need to do that from within. You know, that needs to be a warm market thing. Like, who's the next title sponsor that can help alleviate some of that? I know, you know, Angan and Robert are always looking for those things. So, I mean, I'm always looking at it from the perspective of how can we progress and what can we do from within. So I think there's things out there, but they're doing a lot of this with very little sponsorship, very little, I mean, in comparison to their overhead.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, absolutely agree with that. I mean, sponsors coming in, things to work out, absolutely. And obviously, don't watch anything being pirate. And as mentioned, man, if you have the possibility, I mean, we all done that, like gathering at a friend's house and grabbing the PPV. But
hold on, I just had to shut the door.
Yeah, man, no worries, man.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay, man. Things happened. So yeah, I mean, we all done that, and we still do. Like, we gather a couple of friends, we watch the PPV all together. That's fine, man. But if you have the possibility to support, man, and help by buying the PPV, that also supports a lot, man. It's very important as well, man. So we need to do all of us. We need to do our bit.
If arm wrestling's your passion, that's how it has to be. Every single pay-per-view, no matter what it is, if I'm not going to it, then it is going to be streamed at my house on the big TV, and that's how it is. And whoever wants to come can come. But pirated videos, that's a no-no. I mean, come on now, like, just pay the $20 and buy the pay-per-view. I mean, because if you're pirating a $20 pay-per-view, then you are a pretty sad human being. I mean, that's about as low as it gets. So let's
support as much as you can, man. Exactly. Yeah. Support as much as you can. That's it. Anyway.
Well, I'm going. So I'm supporting. Hell yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I got a little bit heated up, though. Right, man. So this is a very, very, very easy one, man, because you had a Paul. You had a couple of super matches, victories, defeats as well, obviously. But I was wanting to check on your eyes. Very easy question, really. How close you are to become one of the best in your weight class? How you see it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
he's that's
subjective. That's subjective. I think that comes, you know, with the playing field and the current situation, and things change. People win, lose every match. That stuff shifts all the time. A lot of it's opinion based, you know.
Yeah.
So the goal is to be that. and to be largely considered that, you know. But I mean, even at the super heavyweights are constantly scrutinized, right? They're the ones everybody's paying attention to, and you see that list shift all the time. So like every time an event happens, the list shifts. And arm wrestling in any competition is very much a what have you done for me lately situation. So where I'm at now and where I want to be, I think both of those things are not completely defined because they're opinion based. The goal is obviously to get to the point where I'm competing for a title and hopefully having some success. But other than that, I mean, time will tell and the situations will shift. So we'll see where the good Lord has the path laid out, and we'll walk down it.
And one very last question in regards of the matches, if you guys okay. Aside from the night, excuse me, the main event, obviously of the King, this was West 18. Which one will be the match that you are more keen on or more interested in watching, Paul?
I mean, like for entertainment value, or for like what are we?
I'll answer it for him if he's saying for entertainment value.
Yeah,
because it's Devin Alex. We all know. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, we got some good ones as far as what could wind up being really entertaining. I think Matt Mask and Arachley could be really fun. I think Devin and Alex is going to be great. I think Michael could wind up obviously stealing the show. Like,
I think so.
And then, yeah, I think we're going to potentially see. I think it's a good card. The matchups are I think on point. So, yeah, there's.
And we got a female world title match with Fia and the other girl. That's going to be a great match.
I mean,
about that one.
Yep. It's the women don't get talked about enough, and
they don't.
Like,
that's true.
They don't.
That's true.
Fia
and,
right
and
now,
shame on me as well for not mentioning this before, because female arm wrestling and Fia, wow, the display of technicality. Even with Carolina, the last couple of matches, the match that, for example, Carolina had with oh, it's not Irina Makieva. Oh my goodness. I forgot.
The girl from Bulgaria.
I think she's Russian.
Katerina? No, it wasn't Katerina. I can't remember either.
I forgot completely. I have him here on the chats though. But anyway, absolutely display of technique. They are very, very technical and very entertaining to watch, man. I am starting to like it even more now. I tell you.
Yeah, Fia is. I mean, what do you guys have her in, like, you know, as far as the top of women's? I mean, like, I can't think of many names that jump out ahead of Fia. You know,
number one. I have her number one for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I'm gonna tell you something that happened to me. So at East versus West 12, that was the first time I met you, actually, at East versus West 12. We met in the restaurant there, but I met Fia there too, and I felt her left arm that night, which wasn't her right arm, but I was just playing around with her, you know, because she'd won easily that night. Yep. And then we get to East versus West 14 a couple months later, where me and you meet again, and then I felt Maylene right-handed, and I was like, oh my gosh, if this is anything close to Fia's right arm, then Maylene is going to kill her. That's just what I was thinking, you know, the whole time. And then the complete vice versa of everything I thought was going to happen happened. Fia just controlled the match and made it look easy. And after that, and after feeling what I felt from Maylene at 14, I was like, that is crazy. Because these girls are strong. Like, you don't realize when they hit and they go, they are strong. Maylene was dragging me across the parking lot. I mean, she is so strong, dude. Yeah. So for Fia to do that, it's amazing. So anytime we get to see her pull, it's great. And everybody in the U.S. needs to be really excited about Jocelyn right now, because let me tell you something. She put up a really good fight against Egley, and if she had a little bit more of the hand department, I think that we would be maybe looking at a bit different outcome. Hard to say, but Egley's got so much experience. But everybody in the U.S., Jocelyn, get behind her, because this is the only chance that we have against Barbora. This is it.
Right.
I think
and we're talking about somebody else who's super green and super gifted.
Yeah.
very,
And
very.
I spoke to her after the event, and she was a little upset and different stuff, and like looking to where she could apply that upset anger and everything. And I'm like, no. Don't be upset. Like I losing sucks, dude. Don't get it wrong.
She's got to
But
realize she's cool.
you have been given a gift of learning, and it's all what you choose to do with it. You're not going anywhere. Please don't go anywhere. Please come back, train harder, because you should be. If you use this as fuel and motivation, you can pick it apart from a technical standpoint and from a mental standpoint, and you can stop whatever things that you think were variables the next time. And that's the only way that you're going to catch up to these women that have all this experience over you. So we need to get behind her and support her. And I've seen she's got some training videos she just put out, which is super awesome. She's a sweet girl. I wish her nothing but the best. I can't wait to be at an event with her again. Super, super, super gifted and talented. And you talk about the Edgar match. People were like, oh, it was one-sided. No,
it wasn't
one-sided.
She
lost her hand, had to side pressure. She didn't lose her hand on purpose. That wasn't a flop wrist. That means highly, highly contested. And I think Jocelyn, it was more of the intangibles that get a little flustered in the moment and not know how to handle the situation. And those are all correctable. They're not strength things.
100%.
Those are easy corrections. She can keep getting stronger and correct them and become unbeatable.
Yes, I agree. We need to get behind her big time because I don't know how you heard it, Paul, but everything that I was hearing from the Florida clubs is they were saying before she pulled Sarah at 17 that Sarah was by far the strongest and best that she had ever been. So for Jocelyn to put on a show like that, I mean, you got to understand that she's our next chance for Barbora. So we got to get behind her.
So I made up my mind and I found her, Dimitrina Petrova.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Yep,
that's the one. I can't wait to see her again on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Great puller. I want to see her again. Not sure what's going on, but I want to see her again. It was.
I thought you said you wanted Paul on the table. I thought you said you wanted Paul on the table, not anybody else. But you wanted Paul. That's what you said. You told me a super match with Paul. Get a hold of Ing and
I don't want no smoke. Don't be setting me up.
Right.
Well, Paul, if you could keep from elbow fouling, we could maybe have a match.
Yeah, I know. All we gotta do is file this down. Just file that down.
Yeah, we could do that.
Everybody else's elbow is this.
I know.
My elbow is a needle.
You do have the pointiest elbows I've ever seen. Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no,
I need to get it fixed. I could get the bone spurs removed, but I ain't doing that.
No. Oh man,
that was hilarious, man. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, absolutely. I get my revenge. I trained to beat you, Paul. I think by the progression. Listen, honestly, by my progression with the weights I am doing, fair estimation, I think that in 20 years' time I'll be able to beat you.
There you go.
No, that's bullcrap. Hey, listen, you keep training to beat me, and I'll keep ducking. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the way out.
That's how you need a 75.
God bless you, Manny. That's why you need to follow this guy. An absolutely great guy.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
So, guys, actually, I took a good bunch of your time, guys, and it's pretty late here. So, are you happy, guys, if we call it out for today?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, man. Sorry, because I'm waking up like in not many hours going to work. I'm really having some time.
I know, buddy. I know it.
If I don't sleep enough tomorrow, I think I could mess it up with my patients, and I don't want to do that, man. I could end up in jail.
Get you some sleep, buddy. Get you
some
sleep.
Yeah. Listen, take care, Daniel. It's Skyler. Good to see you again. I'll see you soon. All right.
Yeah. Let me
see you in Chicago, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Let me finish with something more or less special. I just say, dude, because I know that you are a religious guy, Paul, and I saw that you share recently in your stories, right? The Proverbs 27:17.
Mm-hmm.
As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Yep.
So I'm telling you this because obviously before your super match and as a very good example of what you're doing here. You're sharpening more or less this channel. You're sharpening myself as well because I tell you, being your friend is a great pleasure, and being able to interact with you and learn things from you is absolutely awesome. And it's one of the things, for example, someone like me or someone like Skyler are completely fine. It boosts up our motivation to keep going forward and doing what we love. And this is one of the
100%.
greatest things of arm wrestling and the community.
Absolutely. It's all
So-
about, a wise man once told me, what are the 3 most important things in life? And I said, I don't know. And he said, number 1, relationships. Number 2, relationships. And number 3, relationships. That's what life's about. That's your legacy, is your relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll leave you with a Bible verse about my match. Proverbs 21:31. The horse may be prepared for victory, or the horse may be prepared for battle, but the victory rests with the Lord. That's how I approach all of my matches. And if I'm at peace with that before I go in the preparation, then
No
the
matter
match
what
is stress-free.
Yeah.
Yep.
I make sure arrangements with you to get you an 11 US size pair of Madreñas. I make sure next time I'm coming to my land to get one of these and send it over to you and explain what this means exactly, man. Also,
Okay.
to you, Skyler.
I like it.
And that's it, man.
Heck
God
yeah.
bless both of you. Thank you so much for coming up.
Yes,
and I
sir.
hope in future we're gonna have something fun and cool going on, guys. Have a
Absolutely.
good evening.
Yes, sir.
Take care,
Paul,
care of you.
see you in Chicago, buddy.
Take
Let's
care,
go.
guys.
Go get it.
Take care,
Yes, sir.
guys. Thank you so
All
much.
right.